date night.
I have to tell you, just blew my left eardrum.
I'm so sorry. Am I yelling?
You are.
I'm yelling. I'm deaf.
And my dad can't say deaf. He says death. He's like,
are you deaf? I feel like deaf.
He's like, are you deaf? I'm like, bro, it's deaf.
I'm alive, but I'm dead.
I'm actually dead, but I'm alive.
I'm like so deaf.
Flip it.
You're Blocked with Eden Middleman and Simona Catalano.
Okay, so guys, date
reverse it. What's that song?
Yeah, and let me work it. Put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. And share
Now let's flip it and reverse it. Date night.
All right, guys. So you know what's good.
Do you though?
You don't know. That's why we exist. That's why we exist, because you don't know.
We're here. Hitting the point.
Hitting the point.
Hitting the point.
Right on the fucking head.
Hitting the nail on the head.
Right there, okay?
Right there.
The importance of date night. A lot of us think that date night is just like, oh, we go out once in a while.
Month. Yeah. We go once a month.
Once a month. McDonald's. Woo!
Stop
you know?
on my shirt, bro.
She serves you the fries.
Like, I don't know why she's feeding that. You would be happy as fuck. You're happy as fuck.
Bro, I'm a simple girl. I'm a simple lady.
You get her one large fries. It's actually low-key medium fry.
Oh my god, don't do that to me. Guys, there's a conspiracy theory that Simona's literally pushing.
I'm not pushing. The guy that put it on TikTok, he said that all McDonald's fries are the same size. You guys all use the same scooper.
And they're ripping us off. So I always get large because I'm like, large and in charge. And then I get in, Simona's like, you know that's a medium? I think that we all associate date night with like something once a month, or we go out, yeah, we hang out, or we hang out on the couch together. That's a little date night. We have like a little dinner inside, you know, in our home. If you're dating somebody and you're living with them, you're married or you're not, it doesn't matter. The importance of having, and I believe once a week, you block off that time. So for example,
block it off.
It's like work. So you're working from 9 to 5. You know that you can't be anywhere but work at 9 to 5. So you know that you can't be anywhere Thursday night at 7 p.m. 7 to 8. That is your date night. It's blocked off no matter what.
It's literally just 1 hour or however long you want it to be. So I also think that like as a couple, like let's figure out what works for both of us. Like I think that we both agree that like once a week at the very least, like let's do something outside of the home. It's important for us to connect outside of our living space.
Yes. And the reason why it's so important is because if you think about it, yes, we can say that we hang out all the time, but you're not spending quality time. And that is an undivided attention between the two of you, really catching up and growing on that connection.
Love language.
And I think that everyone needs to put that into place because it's maintenance. A relationship is hard work. It's 24/7. You hear this all the time, but it genuinely is. And if you do start to slack with date night and you miss a week because you're tired or you have this or you're busy or whatever, you don't take it seriously, what happens? You fall off the wagon. And then building that connection, it's a little too late at that point because it becomes really difficult to stop your life from moving and to have that moment one-on-one because you're like, well, we spent yesterday all day like doing errands together. That's fine.
There is an excitement when you are getting ready. You're getting dressed up, you're showering, you're putting an effort in, you're dressing up.
I hope you're showering.
You're making sure that you are making it sexy. You're spicing it up. You're dressing it up.
Yes, it's keeping the spark alive. And this is something that people are like, well, the spark fades after a few years. It does, but it's up to you to keep that alive in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And even if it's something simple like going on a walk around the block or going to the coffee shop down the street, getting out of the environment that you're used to being in where there's so many distractions, kids, dogs, phones, work-related things, emails.
Yes.
Anything like that that can distract from actually that quality time
100%
is going to hinder that.
And date night, it's important to put the phones away on date night and be one-on-one present in that moment.
Yes.
Like being completely present. Like we are shutting off the world. We are focusing on us. It's also a great time to have discussions on where you guys are at. If there's anything you guys are struggling with in the relationship, like date night can be sexy, but it can also be a great opportunity for us to connect
and to check in.
Exactly.
It's literally a touch base. Like for example, the week, life gets busy, people do their shit, work, this and that. You guys are kind of in the motion in life, going through things.
On autopilot.
Exactly, on autopilot. So when you literally are committed to once a week having that moment where you guys can fill each other in on things that maybe you might have not been able to, or literally if you feel like, well, we've spoken all week, like what can we talk about? Trust me, this is your time to go in depth and create those big connections, big conversations of things, right? Like imagine the first few dates. Do you know what I mean? Like bring that spark and magic alive to being curious about each other's lives and what's going on in your head, because while you think you know everything, you certainly do not. And there's so much that you can actually see when you have these moments and these times where you're committed to one another.
Because you're always communicating in the same ways and just communicating to just keep each other in the loop like every day. being outside of the house and doing something together, maybe it's an activity, that's a great way to like strengthen your communication with each other. And also it will bring up other issues and other ways of communicating and understanding your partner and where they're at. Like maybe there was something, but they were like, you know, I dealt with it, doesn't need to be addressed, or they forgot that something happened and they need to fill you in and tell you. It's a great chance to make sure that everything is out on the table and that we are communicating and that everybody is looped in on everything.
It's very, very healthy if you think about it. And you can talk about that, past things, current things, or the future, right? Which is really important to always be on the same sort of wavelength and be aligned. And this is the best way of doing that, is to making sure that this is a routine thing so you guys know what's happening. Maybe one of you guys can take the reins one week on creating that date night if you want to do something more fun and different, or you can do it together. The other person can take the reins the next week. Like make it like that, where it's sort of like, we know we have to do this because at the end of the day, we will be thankful for it. Because I know it's easy. Like you're sitting on the couch with your man, you're like, it's raining outside, I'm not in the mood. And then you get to that funk.
Like, it's really... I definitely don't want to be going out right now. Like, can we dress it up and make it spicy here at home? But I definitely understand why it's important, and myself included. Like I'm so much of a homebody, but I do understand the importance of getting out of the house and doing something special with your significant other, whether you are in the mood, you don't want to do it, like push yourself to do it, because it doesn't need to be all about like people that are like worried about, oh my God, why is it just it has to be communication 24/7. It's also a great way to just have fun with your partner. Like it doesn't need to be communication 24/7, that whole date night. Like date night can be fun. It's a way for us to connect outside of the home and do something. Like we don't get to have fun all the time. We don't get to like always laugh maybe, or be silly, or spice it up and like do things that we used to do, or like just like live in the moment. I think that living in the moment and doing something fun and different is a great way to make sure that you guys are pulling through and are connecting.
It's also showing each other that you're prioritizing each other every single week. To prioritize a space, just like you prioritize fucking Sunday with the boys, football, you can do the same thing with your girl once a week, 1 hour, 2 hours. It doesn't take much. I think it's just making that time. And when you show each other, I think inevitably and subconsciously almost, it's like, oh wow, every week we've been committed to this for like a month, and like it feels so good. I'm so thankful, because at the end of the day, I realize that it's us making things work regardless of how busy our life is. We're prioritizing ourselves.
Right.
And that does so much for the relationship.
It's also so important if you have kids, because mom and dad is the foundation of every relationship in the household, right? So we need to prioritize mom and dad, or me and you, especially even if you don't have kids, because maybe you want to, or whatever the case may be, but this is the foundation of everything, or will be. So we need to make sure that we are, yes, prioritizing this relationship and making sure that the foundation is solid. And also, like, just to go back on the point of like spicing it up, like, yes, every day, like maybe we're just like always in sweats, or like always doing our own thing, or like connecting to connect. Like think about how just like things can get, right?
Yeah.
It can get very comfortable. We're good. We're like in love. Everything is great. But you also want to activate that exciting part of the brain. Like, fuck, like my girl looks good as fuck tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, baby looks so
dress
good.
up for one another.
Like,
keeps the spark alive. And again, it's one thing to be comfortable, but then to constantly be in that state of comfortability where that slowly becomes less effort, less this, because that's inevitable as human beings. Like when we're comfortable, it's like, okay, less effort is being put, like you don't want to, there's no need to, because we're good, we're fine, what's the big deal, what's the point? You know, I've heard so many guys, like my guy friends, to the point of like dressing up and stuff like that.
They get excited.
They're like, you know, like my girl, like we've been dating for some time now, and like I love her and she's beautiful and all that stuff, but like I low key, like I haven't seen her dolled up in so long, and like while I'm okay with her not being, it's not like anything like that, she's beautiful regardless, I just like miss seeing that, and like her, and it almost makes you feel special as a guy or a girl if your man or woman is dressing up for you and getting ready and taking the time to do that. Like it really, everything is with intention, and it's for you two as a unit. At the end of the day, it's you investing in that, right? And if you're not going to put in the time and effort, regardless of what it is, I mean, how are you supposed to sustain this long term?
Exactly. Let's say you're a couple who date night, getting up, going out. It's not a weekly occurrence. It's very, very seldom. And it's something that you want to do often. So maybe you're watching this and you're like, okay, how do I get my guy on board for date night more regularly? How do I approach this? What can I say?
Well, I think that if you're trying to put this into practice, I think communicating the fact that you think it's important, why it's important to you. I think that having your partner know that it's important to you or something that you're considering and you feel like is lacking. And explaining that too, because if your partner cares about you, and chances are they do, then they're going to want that. They're going to want to give you that. And then they might be able to actually see the importance of it too. Like when I was dating this one guy, we were dating long term. I was like, I really do think because we're both so busy, like I had my own business. He was working like crazy hours all the time. I'm like, listen, I know that we're busy, but you and me living together isn't cutting it for me. We need to sit down, have conversations and catch up and all that stuff. Undivided attention, phones away, because we never had that. Like we were just so comfortable with one another. I felt that connection slipping away.
Right.
And coming into that like stupid routine of just like, whatever, I see you when I see you and like no big deal. And so I think vocalizing that to your partner and then being like, what day works for you? Let's pencil one in for this week. Not pencil it in. Let's Sharpie the fuck that bitch in right now, this week. Permanently. And then try and keep each other accountable.
So like if you want to, yes, communicate that to your man. I also think that a great way, guy or girl, of bringing it up if you want to do a date night is just like, listen, babe, like we're always hanging out. I think that like doing something different, spicing it up, whether it's an activity or like let's actually go on a date. Maybe let's take like a 2-weekend like little trip up north or something. Something fun, something different, something new. Let's activate new parts of ourselves and get new parts of our brain and our relationship stimulated. I feel like this will be really good. You know, again, like you said, cell phones and everything away. And let's see if this is something that we can do more frequently. You know, and after the trip, or after date night, just being like, listen, babe, I really enjoyed that. I would love to do this again with you next week. Like, I really think that this is something that worked for both of us. I really loved it. I enjoyed it. Let's prioritize. Let's see how often we can do this. No pressure. Let's work towards that goal. Let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and I think reiterating the fact that date night doesn't need to be a wine and dine restaurant, fancy, expensive. No, it's literally a walk in the motherfucking park across the street. Do you know what I mean? Or it's like, I'm going to get my favorite latte from that coffee shop. Let's go, honey. Or like, oh my God, like, without the dog, without everything, just you two focusing on each other, I think is really important. Finding creative, small things that relieve the pressure of, oh my God, a formal date night? Like, I don't know. Maybe you're tight on a budget or whatever. There doesn't need to be that stress because you can make it do without spending a single fucking dollar. And I think that shows, again, prioritization, commitment, and care for the relationship in that spot.
Yeah, I also think that different activities for date night or just dates in general are amazing because of how many different places in your relationship or spots and areas that you can activate and stimulate. So like, for example, if you're like more creative and you want to do something new, like let's take a painting class, or like let's do a cooking class, or like let's do pottery, like so fun, let's get dirty. Like let's do different fun activities together, because that's also how you learn about the other person, right? So it's all about like learning and really building that strong foundation, I personally believe. And also, if you're single, that's fine. Date nights and best friendships, okay?
Have date night with your best friends.
Have fun.
We really hope that you guys have taken this into consideration. I highly recommend it. I think it's super important to really implement that. Start small, have a conversation, have your partner watch this, maybe watch it together, maybe watch this video again. See if maybe that helps, and then have that, like, keep the ball rolling and Sharpie that fucking time in.
Keep it different. Make sure that it's, again, fun and exciting for both of you. Fun and exciting. Date night, because it can sometimes feel like maybe a chore, you know, so trying your best to be optimistic about it and looking at it as a fun time blocked off for just you two. It's all about how you perceive it.
If you Sharpie that motherfucking date in every single week so that you pick one day, eventually you're going to start to look forward to it. So that's going to brighten up your week. Like, could you imagine, like, okay, like,
so cute,
such a difficult week with work, or like work is stressful, but then Thursday night I know is our night, or Friday night, or Monday night, whatever, to cheer you up and to keep the week more fun and exciting and happy and lighthearted. And like, I think that it's beneficial to you as an individual as well as the relationship.
Connect outside the space.
And on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, but actually comment date ideas. Maybe
comment date ideas.
Let's share.
Let's share.
Low key, high key, whatever.
Oh my God, low key, high key, like love to be like couple workouts. I love to see it.
Like maybe you guys take a little spin class together.
Ooh.
Maybe you do that every Thursday night.
I love a sweaty man.
Like, oh.
I love a sweaty man.
I hate a sweaty man, honey, so we're just taking a walk.
Oh my God, I love it. I love to see it.
Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for the notifications, and we'll see you back here so soon.
Oh my God, guys, bye.
Bye.